for now almost half a decade. And so when you get the opportunities, the quarterfinals, right, and you win this one and then you deal with what's next. If the Canadians are connected, and they should be as they continue to get reps together and all that fun stuff, you'd expect a really high compete level from them as well.
Leading the team in blocks, so 2.5 per game. She's out with a right leg injury, and that will be the end of her tournament. But off we go. Powerhouse Canada against resilient Colombia with everything on the line.
I like that Canada's opened up with just some really basic type sets, but that's just, they get you great shots.
Rios pushing the other way. She's averaging 9.3 points per game, but it's really been her playmaking that's been impressive here in Santiago.
And her toughness, that intangible.
It's Shea Cauley. She has the bigger Gonzalez on her. Falling away, able to knock down her first jumper of the afternoon. Rios behind the back to Vente, but Kayla Alexander there for the rejection. It's going to stay here with 7 on the clock.
But don't rush because you've got the clear-cut advantage inside.
Gonzalez blocked by Egypt. Good recovery that time by Egypt to protect the rim. It's Hill on the ricochet. She'll pull it back out. She wants Kayla Alexander to present. Instead, she goes to Egypt in the lane, and she's able to get 2. Tara Wallach on the floor as Canada goes to their bench with Delaney Gibb and Swords. Cauley driving, able to cut through the defense. Cauley had her back on the offensive rebound. Now Egypt inside. It finally goes down for the 2 bigs for Colombia. Lopez driving on Swords, able to stop the run.
That's the biggest impact for me, though. They put her at the high post. They'll run screens, handoffs.
And Egypt was able to get another possession for Team Canada. Under a minute to play here in this first quarter. Gibb driving, slapped out of her hands by Paz.
Paz just making such a...
Morello and Munoz, who has been quiet to start the game for Colombia. Swords with a good hesitation that time to find 2. This is a good ball movement. It's a Munoz 3. That's off. And Alexander with a good block out that time to grab the board. Gibb and Egypt running the floor well. That full court extended defense is causing some issues right now for Colombia, speeding them up a little bit. That's a good high-low pass that Paz caught, and Alexander recovered for the block.
You got to sit down and defend. Frustrating, but you call this the danger zone, and I believe you, Garland. Right now, you get the feeling that Canada's about to put up some buckets.
Swords for 3. She splits the pair at the line. Finally broke the ice for Colombia here in this quarter. Alexander.
Always the best. Those kill zones are a little bit higher if possible, but close to the baseline's tough anywhere.
Vente rejected by Alexander. She had to turn around and fire it as the shot clock was winding down. Floor cleared for Cauley. She's going to attack Martinez. And a great ball fake freeing.
Yeah, big break.
Munoz. Wonder where the offense will come from for the Colombians. Could it be from Lopez? Her high arcing shot from the nail drops.
Just kind of like staying down and not getting beat. So you force the jumper. Those are wide open jumpers.
Cauley bulldozing her way to the rim.
Making her reads too, because there's a fine line between pulling up, setting up, running it, and then doing that, right?
Here's Vente. Delgado will tee up a 3. Indeed. Hill on the curl. That's a 3. And counted in the foul. Sammy Hill with a chance for a 4-point play. Gonzalez crossing over on Becker. Here's Delgado looking for space. Inside, Paz gonna have to put it up. Does just in time and able to get it to drop. Swords coming off the curl with 5 to shoot now. Attacking baseline, Swords finding anything she wants right now offensively. Second half underway, Colombia in the black uniforms with The Rock, Carlin Gay alongside Amy Audibert. Thanks for joining us wherever you are, wherever you're doing so. And Rios with a good sign there offensively. Day Wilson, Alexander, Cauley, and Ejim, the 5 on the floor for Canada. That's a 2-foot on the line as Cauley drops it home. And now here where the games matter, showing great chemistry as Ejim able to get one to drop from the top of the key.
Sometimes I think you sometimes use your body illegally to create that type of, I mean, against Ejim too, by the way.
Very tough defender.
Yeah. Casado certainly does.
Lopez on the spray. Delgado, shot clock expiring. Able to drill the 3.
And like a layup, an Ejim layup at the rim stop. That's big time for Colombia.
Lopez inside with the footwork. Canadian bench wanting to travel.
It's incredibly uncomfortable, but I love watching her play. I've been watching her for a really long time now at Gonzaga. I love her game.
The PTSD oozing out of my partner over here.
Well, now that I have to deal with it, I'm like, you go, girl. And a huge answer from Delgado.
To secure their position in the World Cup qualification. Gibb on the probe. Kicks it back out top. Alexander working on Vente. Kayla Alexander has played. Day Wilson fires to Wallach. Wallach puts it on the deck. Hard drive by Tara Wallach. Played at the U19 World Cup in Hungary for Team Canada and had a great game in the win over France in the round of 16 with 16 points and 7 boards, powering Canada for that win to the semifinals. As you see Vente with the finish, and on the other end, Gibb, as Colombia falls asleep after the make. Day Wilson quickly ahead. It soars. Good hesitation, got bumped, and then gave it away.
That's what it's all about now. Using the term sharpen your axe, preparing for what's to come as Kayla Alexander sets a tone defensively.
Nice pass over to Gibb, who floats it home.
I always kind of wipe the first 3 quarters off the table in these situations, and who wins the 4th?
Alexander able to find the first 2 of the 4th. Been impressed with Delaney Gibb's game here in Santiago, Chile.
I agree. She's one of the younger players on the team, but when you look at her college career, holds her own to say the least, makes an impact even better.
Yeah, averaged 17.4 points per contest this past season as Russell drills the 3. Munoz kicks it to Caicedo. Caicedo with the floater in the lane. Mayra Caicedo playing her pro ball in Brazil. She averaged 15 points over there and just under 7 boards. At her size is pretty impressive. Momentum over to your next game is always important. If Canada's shooting the ball as well as they do right now in this first couple of minutes here in this 4th, going into the semifinal matchup against Team USA, that could open up the floor for Kayla Alexander, who's going to see more size against the Americans. That drive there by Morello who laid it in.
They've averaged 71 attempts from the field, 27 of those attempts being from long range. And you want to continue to generate those good looks. There's a paint touch and a fadeaway.
Becker going to use the Russell screen. Day Wilson now will run off Potter. Nice pass inside the Potter from Day Wilson. Good job of wrapping it around the defender. A shy Day Wilson. Pause. Good footwork to find 2.
I think you have to compete until the final buzzer. It's a responsibility.
Day Wilson tried to take a charge. Official says flop. And that layup kissed in by Delgado. And it will stay here with Colombian possession. 6 on the shot clock for them to work with. Gonzalez, she'll tee up a 3. Indeed.
Capable of knocking that down, making him proud.
She does hope to play in the WNBA. She's playing in the top league, second division in Italy right now. Is that an opportunity to level up in some of those leagues?
And if you're a powerhouse on the international stage.
Here's Lopez, weaving through traffic. Delgado will tee up a 3, indeed. As Canada has the shot clock winding down, Sammy Hill tees it up from 3, can't get it to go. And Lopez will pick it up and go the other way, all the way to the rim. Carolina Lopez finding two in transition. We'll see Brazil take on Mexico at 5:40 Eastern time, local here in Chile, as Ejim had her jersey pulled. And now we officially have our matchup set in one of the semifinals, as Canada able to cruise to a victory here in the quarterfinals.